Dumelang Bagolo, my name is Nicole Mujoli for those of you who don't know me. And in today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys what I went through when I was buying my first car. Yes, I said it, my first car. Anyway guys, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And please do remember that this is not financial advice, it's just me sharing my experience with you guys. Okay, so this is sort of like a little story time on what happened when I was buying my car. So firstly, what happened was I was getting some extra money from the place where I work. So I was like, you know what, I'm using my mom's car at the moment and I'm gonna have to start making site visits, and it wouldn't really be fair to her to take her car to site because you know it can get damaged and all that. And also another thing was I didn't feel comfortable driving my mother's car on long distance roads. You know, accidents can happen at all times. Obviously the car was insured, but I didn't feel comfortable because it's not mine, you know, and I want my own. So I decided, you know what, okay, since I'll be having extra money and it would be nice to have something big of my own, let me just go and buy the car and get it over and done with. And also another reason why I bought it is because when I buy a house one day, I don't want to be paying for a car and a house at the same time, you know. So I was like, you know what, let me just go buy the car and get it out of the way. It's just 5 years, 6 years, you know, let me just go. So anyway, I was not prepared because you know, actually I didn't want to buy a car. I wasn't prepared on buying a car anytime soon. So, you know, obviously your first car, when you're not that rich, you know, your first car will be like a smaller car, hatchback, or cheap car, you know. So I was like, I don't know what car I want because I like SUVs and I like buggies. So I was picturing myself buying a car maybe 5 years from now, starting car SUV. I didn't look at your common cars. Even though I do drive a common car, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at SUVs and buggies. So I didn't really know how much cheap cars cost, right? So anyway, I went to the dealership. Now I treated it like clothing shopping. I didn't do research, I didn't do any of those things. I was just like, you know what, let's go look at some cars. First I went with a couple of colleagues, looked at some Reynolds, looked at Polos, looked at all these other cars that were cheap. And I was like, you know, there's nothing in Kazam Mona because I wanted an SUV. So anyway, I was like, you know what, let me just go for the Polo. I'll insert a picture of the Polo that I'm talking about. But I didn't feel it, like it wasn't my style. I actually liked the older model, but my boyfriend was like, no baby, you can't buy that car. Obviously the kilos are gonna be high because it's the older model. I think it's like 2013 or something. He has one of those, so I wanted to get that because I liked it. I was like, you know, as my first car, I'll get that. I like this car more than I like the newer model. And he was like, nope, no Miguel, you're not getting that car. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what car I would like to get. So anyway, my family came over for a weekend to help me look for a car. So I went with my mother, my sister and my boyfriend. Sharp. We get to the car dealership and I'm just there like, I'm gonna let these people choose because now I don't know what I want. But like SUV, but obviously I can't start with that because I didn't plan on buying a car anytime soon. Sharp, we looked through the cars, browsed and stuff. My sister was looking at the Polo that I didn't want. She was looking at that, and I was like, I don't like the shape of this car. It's just something that I didn't want. Anyway, so I was like, you know what, let me just go for an Opel Corsa. And my mom was like, you're gonna do what now? Please don't, please no. And my little sister was like, girl, you better find a proper car because if you're gonna come home with a car that's you know, like your cheap brand. We're not even gonna open the garage for you, Shem. Your car's gonna park in the street. I was like, this girl, one Kailamas. But anyway, so we continued looking. And then my mom was like, you know what? Actually buy a brand that you know, that you trust, a brand that you have experience with. And Kohaye, we had experience VW and Jeep, as well as Chevrolet, but the Chevrolet is fairly new. So I was like, I don't want a Baki, Smonyana Baki, I don't want that. And I can't afford Jeep right now, so I was like, you know what, let me go for VW. Plus VW has some nice cars, and I know I wouldn't struggle with parts and stuff like that, because you know, it's a common car and you don't have to wait forever. Like some brands, you actually wait when you order some parts. I think it's Peugeot or something like that. You guys will find out which brands take forever to get the parts to. Anyway, so there was my baby part. I didn't know it was my baby. My boyfriend got in the car. It had bags and everything, so I wouldn't have to, you know, update it or anything. He got in the car, and remember, this was at a second-hand car dealership, right? I wasn't gonna buy a brand new because I was like, you know what, in Yuko, I'd rather buy a demo or a second-hand car. So he gets in the car and he's like, baby, this is your car, let's go. And I'm like, wait, what? So this guy's going to decide for me, but he knows cars, so I trust him. He likes cars a lot. So I was like, okay, you know what? I got in the car, I sat. I was like, ooh, it has a touch screen over there, and now it's a Mac, and I like all those things. So I was like, you know what? As a first car, this is not bad. Let's speak to one of the consultants, right? So I spoke to the consultant. He was like, okay, let's apply for the car and see if you're actually qualified. Now you guys must remember, so credit, it was basically non-existent. I had opened an account like 2 months prior to buying a car, not knowing that I was actually going to buy a car, but I just opened an account because I was like, you know what, one day if I'm going to struggle because I cannot credit. So credit score basically non-existent, low, because I buy it cash. If I can't buy it, I'm not taking it. So anyway, I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna qualify for this car because I didn't even do an affordability check. Guys, like, when I say I was not prepared to buy a car, I was really not prepared. I just woke up and I was like, oh shit, the chips go shopping. I was just like, okay, let's go reka koloi. That's how it happened. So we actually went and bought the car, and we did the application sharp. And then first round, all of the banks rejected me. Yeah. And guys, I'm not used to failure. Like, I know failure is not something bad, but I'm not used to it. So anyway, I reject. I was like, hey man, leave the red bank here rejected. And I'm a customer there. They know what salary I every month. So what is the problem? I was like, oh, okay. Guys, you know when your own bank rejects you, it hurts. They will hurt you. Your own bank will hurt you. Anyway, so I was like, sharp. Let me just leave it. I actually felt defeated. The consultant was like, no girl, don't stress. Let me call one of the banks and I know they will help you. Sharp, he pulled some strings there. Interest, it was so high, guys. True. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I got the car, it's fine. So he actually advised me, no, don't take fixed interest, because chances are that the interest will okay, the interest fluctuates again. So it's like, don't take the fixed interest, because if you fix it and it fluctuates by going down, you might miss out on the opportunity to pay less. So I was like, you know what, okay, this guy is an expert, he knows what he's talking about. And thank God I listened. Sure, did seven say that guys, I listened to him, because it was just a couple of months after that, then COVID hit. Your interest yaka went down. I was so hip. Yo, if I could fix it at that time, I don't know if a person can actually do that. You guys can find that out. Man, if I could fix it, I would have called the bank and be like, Ella, fix that interest more thing, because it went down so much. But I was actually smart. You know why? When the interest went down again, the installment also went down. I called up the bank and I was like, guys, nyulusa installment tech and nyulus, and keep it there so that interest can come down again. You know that the more you pay, the lower your interest will be in the long run. Yes. So that's what I did. Instead of taking that extra 200, 300 and spending it on myself, I was like, actually, you know what? It increased. So now I actually pay, I think, 500, 600 rand more than I'm supposed to for my car, and it has decreased my interest drastically. Obviously, it's the two factors that are contributing to my period decreasing is me paying extra, and also interest itself came down again. So now I am guys, you know how good it feels when your period comes down? Not that period, but like the period of the car coming down. But remember, my car period, loan period was for 6 years, and now because I make extra payments and because my interest has come down, it came down by 6 months already. Do you know how much 6 months is? And I can check, like when I checked the new sort of thingy that is, I don't know what you call that page, but anyway, when you make adjustments, they send that page, like that updated information. So when I checked there, it went from, it's gonna, at the end of the day, it's gonna be like from 72 months, it's gonna come down to 66 months. A whole 11 months difference. Is it 66? I think it's 65 months, yes. So it's gonna be like 10 months difference, if I remember correctly, guys. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, so far it's already come down by 6 months, and I haven't been paying extra for that long. So just imagine, over this period, over the years, it's gonna come down even more again. So if you can, pay extra, guys. If only 10 rand paid, if only 100 rand, don't now, because you see what the interest, if you choose variable interest, don't now choose to keep that extra money for yourself. For what? But the downside of my thing, so I was planning on paying extra so that I can finish quicker, but then I'm like, ish, I'm so lazy to save up for balloon. I can save it and I can pay for it now already if I want to, but I'm like, you know what, I'd rather use that money and invest it somewhere else and make it grow. I'd rather use child I'm joking, but I'd rather invest that money somewhere else so that it can actually grow, and then I can take that profit and pay right? Okay guys, I was actually gonna make this one video, but it seems like it's gonna be too long, so I'll actually bring a part 2 for you guys, where I give you guys tips and tricks and advice that I wish I had gotten for buying my car. Alright, so if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be part 20. Mwah.